The Mavericks blew their 13th double-digit lead of the season last night. It was a 116-108 loss to the 76ers. The Mavs now 11th in the West, a game behind the Thunder for that play-in tournament. When they traded for Kyrie Irving, they were the 4th seed in the West. Wow, that is a fast fall. Shannon, what went so wrong in Dallas?
Well, Skip, last year they had the perfect storm. The guys really meshed well. They played well together. Jalen Brunson understood his role, and he came in and did a great job. But for whatever reason, Mark Cuban did not want to pay the man his money because he thought, like a lot of other people, Jalen Brunson played this well because he was in a contract year. But considering that you had drafted him and you had saw this young man's maturation, you should have said, you know what? Hey, I like what I see because every year he's continuously gotten better. Now, Mark Cuban, this is the second time. Now, you got a great business acumen, but you let Steve Nash get away. You let Jalen Brunson get away. Now, at some point in time, you got to stop looking at outside forces to come save you and look at the homegrown talent that you've drafted, cultivated, watch it mature, and blossom into something beautiful, only to watch it grow, go to somebody else's garden, and be beautiful over there. I believe they really do miss Jalen Brunson. Skip, they don't play any defense. Skip, they're 23rd in defensive rating. They're 30th in rebounds, 28th in steals, 28th in block shots. That leads to them being 29th in second chance points, 29th in fast break points. Well, hell, if you can't get, even if for some reason you stop them from making a basket, you can't get the rebound. They get the rebound, put it right back in the basket on you. Skip, it's not Kyrie, because if you look at Kyrie, when both players are on the court, the Mavs are averaging a 121.4 points per 100 possessions, which makes them the best in the league in those minutes. They can't defend. And the reason why, Skip, Kyrie said a lot of things. Everybody, look, Kyrie, see, this is what you have. Kyrie is what he is at this point. There's a reason why Mark Cuban traded for Kyrie, a star or a superstar, however you want to look at it. Luka was becoming more and more frustrated because they had started to lose. And so Mark Cuban says, in order for me to keep my superstar engaged, I've got to do something. And that was the something that he did. But until they found a way to play defense, they traded the best perimeter defender in Dorian Finney-Smith. And Skip, they are a jump shooting, three-point shooting team. But here's the problem. When they go in like they did the third quarter against the Lakers on Christmas, it's a beautiful thing to watch. But when the shots aren't falling and you don't play defense, which they don't, this is what you get. You get a team that was in the fourth when they traded for Kyrie. Now all of a sudden, because Skip, all you did is that you got a more skilled offensive player, but you weakened even more so your defensive side of the ball. So this is where they are, Skip. And look, this ain't no, it's easy to blame Kyrie because, well, we were in the fourth spot. Yeah, but you play even worse defense now that Kyrie is there. And Luka is becoming more and more frustrated. He's getting more and more agitated. Again, last night, 9 of 20, 4 of 9 from 3. I mean, Kyrie was 8 of 17. They didn't play bad, but you just got to find a way. And you get Joel Embiid to only give you 25, you got to win that game. Because with that little small lineup, he normally gives you 40 and 15. He only gave him 25 points last night.
Yeah, but he took over the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but and guess what? You had that lead. All you got to do is just get a couple of stops, and they couldn't.
They had a 12-point lead. Okay. I first guessed this. I stand on what I said from moment one when this trade was announced. It will not work. They do not fit. Last year, they were a decent defensive team. I'm not going to say they were great, but they were a middle-of-the-pack defensive team. And if you take Dorian Finney-Smith out of that, as you point out, but more important, you take Jalen Brunson out of that, all of a sudden, the emphasis is no longer on that end of the floor. No. It's all offense.
Yes.
You now have two of the top 5 offensive players in basketball. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go that far because Kyrie can get on rolls. He for a while was on a roll last night. He looked unstoppable. We know Luka can get on rolls where you just say, well, that's just too good. You can't keep him out of the paint, away from the bucket. And if he can get his step-back three going, he is unguardable. So you got two guys who, in stretches on any given night, can be unguardable, who do exactly the same thing. They need the basketball, and it will only work for 3 quarters, but it won't work for 4.
Right.
Because when you get to the 4th quarter, it's like, are you going to do this or am I going to do this? And to me, every 4th quarter they have played has been one long pout on one part or the other part, where they're feuding quietly with each other, and it's not overt, it's covert. And it's mostly Lucas saying, okay, you brought this guy in here, and he's leading the league in 4th quarter points, so let him do it. I'm going to drive home a stat that I don't see anybody bring up, but I'm going to keep hitting it right over the head because it happened again last night. You realize they played in their 4th quarters and the one overtime they played together. Kyrie has taken 80 shots, that's 4th quarters and overtime, to Luka's 36 shots. And it happened again last night. Kyrie took 5 shots in the 4th quarter to Luka's 3. But this was different because the sequence in which they came was extremely different, because we can, if you want to show the JaVale play, JaVale's just rim running, he gets loose. And we talked about JaVale needs to play in this game and play big against Embiid. So he gets loose. And here we go. JaVale's just rim running, and he beats Joel up the floor and gets a dunk. That put them up 103 to 100 with 7 minutes left.
Right.
Okay. So you say, can somebody close the deal? And from that point on, I'll just show you real quick what Joel did. Joel comes right back down because he's not happy with himself. But we can see what he did in succession here. He comes right down. This is the next possession. He said, just give me the damn ball, and I'll just do this on JaVale McGee, and we're tied. And then they come back again, and he says, give me the damn ball, and I'll shoot a fadeaway from the free throw line, and we're up 2, and that was it. It went south from there. Would you believe that Kyrie Irving last night, he played all 12 minutes of the 4th quarter, leading the league in 4th quarter points scored, having taken 5 shots at this point. He missed a 3 when the game was tied at 6:30, so it's soon after what we just saw. He missed a 3 at 6:30 and didn't take another shot. Because he's saying, okay, you do it. And Luka took 3 more shots and actually made 2 of them, but it was too little, too late. But Luka only took 3 total shots, and they came late in the 4th quarter. And help me out with this. Every 4th quarter, Kyrie plays all 12. Every 4th quarter, Luka plays only 7. And I don't get it. You're Luka freaking Doncic. You just can't, if the game is on the line and the playoffs are teetering at best, wouldn't Luka say, I just got to play because we are in position to steal this game? Because they were. They played really well in stretches. I thought they were going to win it. And then all of a sudden, the Luka-Kyrie dynamic is so untrustworthy in the 4th quarter. Is it your turn or my turn? You try it. No, you do it. No, you do it. Remember that first play, that first night, they're like giving the ball back and forth to each other?
They get a shot up.
Okay, they don't even get a shot up. So something is not clicking between the two of them because, to your point, if you're not going to play defense, then you're going to have to depend on these two to get you home.
Yeah.
And they don't click. They don't vibe. Lucas says after the game, hell with chemistry. We just got to win games. No, you can't do hell with chemistry because this game is a beautiful game that chemistry really matters in.
Yes.
It's 5-on-5, and if the 2 are 2 of the top 5 offensive players, they have to vibe, they have to click, they have to feed off each other, draft off each other, and they don't. And all of a sudden, you look at this, to Jen's point, they were the 4 seed, and now it's looking more and more like they're going to miss the playoffs. Well, trust me on this. If they miss the playoffs, somebody's going to have to pay for that, and that somebody is probably sitting on the coach's hot seat right now, right?
Well, I mean, this is Mark. This is Mark Cuban.
It is. You're right. He's the one who did this.
Yes, he traded.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't miss the playoff,
and he's the one, to your point, who had to initially say, "No, Jalen Brunson, you're too rich for my blood. You go on to the Knicks." Look at the Knicks.
And Knicks are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playing very well. But the question is, Skip, okay, look at what you gave up. Now, if you don't re-sign Kyrie, this was a disaster.
Yeah, I'd say.
The only way that you can salvage this is that you sign Kyrie. Because you gave up draft picks.
Yep.
You gave up other compensation and your best perimeter defender in Finney Smith. And what are you going to have to show for it? A missed playoff spot and a guy that you don't re-sign?
Yep. Well, it's highly possible you would lose him. And all the signs point to him wanting to come out here and play with LeBron. I don't know how that's going to play out. Maybe at some point LeBron's going to say, we don't really need that. I don't know, because everywhere Kyrie goes, see Boston, see Brooklyn, see Dallas, somehow it doesn't work.
Right.
Should he get the complete total blame? No, but he seems to be the centerpiece every time of did not work.
Right.
And then I'm going to say this. We're going to go deeper into this in a few minutes here on the show about his legacy and his career path. But in my career, I've never seen a happier loser than Kyrie Irving, because it just doesn't seem to bother him a bit. So he's sitting up there in front of the media last night, and he's a happy camper. And he's going on about, I'm at peace with myself. And he said, I'm so appreciative that they gave me the opportunity here. They've embraced me. It's been nothing but great here. I've been at peace. They just blew a game that they should have won, right, and they're out of the playoffs.
Right.
And then he referred to the jumble of teams as a cluster, you know what?
Right.
But he's just kind of shrugging. He's kind of happy about it, like, well, sometimes it happens this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is just me. I wouldn't want to play with that guy, because I wouldn't be happy after you wouldn't have been happy.
Well, yeah,
after losing
I don't think that's the time to wax poetically about the opportunity that's been bestowed upon you by the Mavericks and the embracing and that they've shown you. But I guess everybody reacts to losing differently. You kind of want it to bother you.
Yeah.
Especially considering I know the work. I don't know Kyrie personally, but I know he works hard. You can't be that skillful on the court without working on your craft.
Yeah.
So I know how much he works on his craft. And normally, Skip, the harder you work for something, the more it hurts if you lose said something.
I agree.
Losing a ball game hurts when you put as much time and effort and energy into it, like some of these guys do. Now, some people just like, okay, it's just a part of the, hey, you win some, you lose some. It's a part of the territory. And I guess you have that mean I guess you couldn't be like that in baseball, Skip. You got 162 games, and you can't be in the corner tied up in knots after you lose every one. But it should bother you, especially coming down. You only got a handful of games to go, and you realize that your playoff livelihood is on the line over the next week and a half.
Yeah. What has he made clear over the last couple of years? Basketball is no longer his top priority.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. Like, that's great. In fact, I kind of admire that, because he's got a big brain, and it sees a lot of things, and he wants to comment on a lot of things, and I'm great with that. But you need to go on and move on.
Well, Skip, he needs to understand if basketball isn't his top priorities, these teams are saying maxing you out isn't our top priority. No. He has to understand they go hand in hand. A team, a owner, a GM, they're not going to hear you like, okay, there are more important things than basketball, but then you come hat in hand, says, okay, I want a max contract.
No, they don't go hand in hand. He's made a ton of money over his career.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's, as you say, straight.
Yeah.
And I think he's a saver. He's not an overspender. He's not extravagant.
Right.
So I admire all those things about him. But at some point, the NBA is going to say no to him, because they'll just say, well, you have other things on your mind.
Yeah.
You have other goals in your life other than winning a championship.
Yeah. It's like you go to a normal job and you go in for the interview process, like, I work, but I ain't a hard worker. But the guy that interviews, like, he or she gonna look at you like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I work. I don't mind working. I'm just not a hard worker.
Yeah. I won't really care about this job. Yeah.
I don't get it. But look, Skip, at this point in time, there should be no ambiguity in who and what Kyrie is.
Yeah. Yeah. Nor about who the owner of the Dallas Mavericks is, because he's got a lot of Jerry Jones in him, speaking of crosstown rival. And, and I know this is as much about box office as it is about winning a championship.
I guarantee you, if Jerry has a guy that showed what Jalen Brunson showed, he ain't trading him.
No, that's true.
Yeah, but he ain't letting him walk in free agency.
Yeah.
Not his guy that Skip, especially sometimes he keep guys that he drafted too long and give them contracts when they probably didn't deserve it. He ain't letting no Jalen Brunson go, a guy that he drafted in the second round. Jalen Brunson was a second-round pick, Skip, and got better and better and better. And then he just let him walk out the door because, like, you know what? You might be doing this because you're in a contract. Yeah, I don't know if you don't know if he's that good after watching him every single day in practice and watching him in the games, I don't even really know what to tell you.
But Jerry's about box office,
Yes.
and Kyrie would be box office to Jerry, too.
Right.
His eyes would get big about, oh, I could have Kyrie Irving?
Well, Skip, but if Jerry had a guy, Skip, the thing was that he went out and got Dion because the guy that he had at the corner position, it's hard to, if he had guys on this team, Skip, that was getting better and better, we know what he thinks of the drafted players. He ain't letting them go. What guy that you was like, man, Jerry let him go, man. That guy was good, and he goes somewhere else.
No.
With the guys that he drafts, when Jerry lets you go, Jerry don't believe you have anything. He let DeMarcus Ware go because he didn't believe D. Ware had anything left.
That's true.
And D. Ware went and showed him that I still got some in the tank.
He did. And he just let my man Zeke go because he decided, I'm pretty sure that's it.
That might have been a year too late, though. I tried to tell you. I tried to warn you, Skip.
You did. You did. I give you credit for that.
This will be a race to the end, guys. I'm not ready to put the fork in Dallas just yet, but it certainly isn't looking good for them when you look at these Western Conference standings. All right, speaking of that, even though the Clippers had no